that he wanted to open a YouTube channel. Yes, people he out here waiting to become my competition, but his mom got my back and told him nope. And stop talking nonsense. She also told him to calm down because she was holding a knife and could go crazy. Even his sister joined in and made fun of him for wanting to be a YouTuber. Okay, now I kind of even feel bad for the poor guy. He was pretty beeped up as he couldn't even get respect and peace at the house. Luckily for RMC, he had a new mission window system. He opened it up and wondered what mission he would begin with and what kind of card the system was referring to. The system started a tutorial mission, and RMC's first mission? Apologize to your mom. The progress status was 0 of 1 and the reward was a golden card. When he saw this, he was shocked but thrilled, thinking that if the card was made of gold he could get it to sell it and make a lot of money.